What's going on, y'all? This your boy Tony Black, voice of the block. And right now, you tuned in to Ghetto Gossip, man. And today, man, we're gonna be talking about that boy Pooh Shiesty. Y'all make sure y'all get up in here. Y'all make sure that y'all share this live. Cause at the beginning, I was wrong. I say Gucci Man ain't get robbed. If he did get robbed, at least he ain't get robbed by Pooh Shiesty. You know. So y'all make sure y'all get up in here, man. Y'all tag some people, and we're gonna talk about this whole situation. Let's make sure we live. And yeah, we're gonna get to it, man. Let's make sure. Let me check it out. I bet we live. All right, y'all. So y'all make sure y'all get up in here, man. Y'all make sure y'all do like I say do. Y'all make sure y'all share this live, dog. You know. That boy Pooh Shiesty. This is what I'm trying to tell y'all, bro. I wasn't gonna be the first one to say, I policed. I sent the feds over to that boy Pooh Shiesty crib. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't gonna be the first one to say that, especially with no unverified, news. Now we got verified news, you know what I'm saying? And we see that Pooh Shiesty like jail, man. Pooh Shiesty love going back and forth to the cell. You know what I'm saying? Y'all make sure y'all get up in here, bro. Cause it's a lot of people, it's a lot of people it's a lot of people that look up to that boy, Pooh Shiesty. You know what I'm saying? And he did some snake shit, bro. And Pooh Shiesty was telling us in that first day out song that he dropped, bro. He was telling us, how he really felt, bro. But he was real deal speaking in code, bro. And he told us he was the real snake. I thought it was just a song, with a back in blood, remade beat. That's what I thought it was. But you know what I'm saying? That shit is a true story, man. That boy, he can't stay out of trouble. And he's a hard head. And he had his daddy with him. You know, I didn't think that, that's another reason I didn't think that, Pooh Shiesty would do some shit like that because his daddy name was in some paperwork, just like, Queso, Dad Blue. Both of their names was in paperwork, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all let me know where y'all tapping in from. It's a lot of people that look up to that boy, man. It's a lot of people that's gonna do the same thing that Pooh Shiesty did, bro. But let me tell y'all something, bro. Pooh Shiesty, he wanted to get himself out of that deal, you know, and Pooh Shiesty was willing to, assassinate to get himself, out of the deal with Gucci. He's willing to do life in prison, to get away from Gucci Man. Gucci Man is, he trying to say Gucci Man is evil, bro. Gucci Man ain't a real street nigga because he ain't do what he was supposed to do when Big Scar died. If Gucci Man would have did what he was supposed to do, or did things different when Big Scar died, I believe he would still have, Pooh Shiesty on his side, and Pooh Shiesty ain't even drop a diss track against him. And that's one thing that Pooh Shiesty could have did, y'all. Pooh Shiesty could have dropped, diss tracks, he could have been exposing them, but instead, man, he want to stick him up, do the same thing that he basically did that put him, behind bars in the feds the very fucking first time. And it's gonna be a lot of people saying free Pooh Shiesty. But I'm gonna be the one that's not gonna say free Pooh Shiesty, bro. Because the nigga just got out. He ain't been out a year, bro, and did the same exact shit that he, just got himself out of trouble doing. He pleaded, he lied to, the prosecutors and the judge and them, and made them think that he was a good person. And his ankle monitor told everything. See, he set up Gucci Man. He set up the nigga that fed him. He set up the nigga that, put him on. Because Pooh Shiesty would have been locked up a long time ago doing life, would have never seen millions of dollars. We would have never known his name, never known his swag, or Pooh Shiesty would have been and got knocked off because Pooh Shiesty is from Memphis and he a street nigga. You know, we got some verified news, man. So now I'm gonna talk about it. It wasn't Pooh Shiesty house, but it gotta be Pooh Shiesty house. Pooh Shiesty put the money behind this house. So we're gonna say that this is Pooh Shiesty house, you guys. You know, so Pooh Shiesty house, y'all, man, it got, raided, bro. Pooh Shiesty been in jail for a couple days, and that boy Big 30, man. I'm gonna tell y'all about that boy Big 30 because Big 30 is not a real friend. But let's check out what the news saying, man.
This is the FBI, and you can see right behind me those FBI agents still on the scene. Not only FBI, but TBI as well. Now, check this out. We've been out here for a little while now, and we have seen these agents tagging the vehicles. It's about 4 vehicles, one inside of the garage and 3 others in the driveway here. They at one point they had all of the trunks of these vehicles open.
Let me tell you, they looking for anything, any clues, you know what I'm saying, that whoever said anything, Gucci Man, the one who, you know what I'm saying, put the statement out and said it was Big 30 and Pooh Shiesty. You know what I'm saying? Gucci Man got his name on that paperwork. It haven't been, you know what I'm saying, publicly Royal Ride released yet, but it's coming, man. Y'all better believe it. Gucci Man, man, he went against the code. Gucci Man was supposed to be a real street nigga, but Gucci Man told. Gucci Man folded like some clothes, man. Gucci Man let his girl, his wife, whatever she is, get all up in his ear, and let him go against the code. Now, it's sad to say, I don't really think that people gonna be signing with Gucci Man no more after this. If Gucci Man really did fold.
And you can see, I believe that's a silver BMW they have there with the trunk still open, and they're still tagging and taking pictures. We have seen a few of those agents go in and out of the home so far this morning. We have not seen anyone taken out of the home. Of course, that's something we're working to gather information on as to if anyone has been taken into custody. But again, we do know that the Shelby County Assessor's Office, according to their website, they list this home being owned by Lontrell Williams. Now get this, Lontrell Williams is also Pooh Shiesty's name. So his father's name is Lontrell Williams Sr., and his name, Pooh Shiesty's name, Lontrell Williams Jr. We do know that the rapper Pooh Shiesty, Lontrell Williams Jr., is in a halfway house at this point in time after his release from federal prison. Now, again, we've been monitoring this situation for quite some time, seeing those FBI and TBI agents going in and out of the home. Again, the most action we've seen. So
They searching hard, ain't they? I mean, they looking for the weapons. They looking for bullets. They looking for the clothes that he wore that night. They looking for that Pooh Shiesty mask that a lot of people be wearing nowadays. You know, Pooh Shiesty really, played a dirty game, against his former boss. You know what I'm saying? And ain't no way, you know what I'm saying, I can betray somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why he did it, he didn't have to take it that far. But the reason why he did it, because he still got that, you know what I'm saying, that kiddie mentality. You know what I'm saying? And everybody that was with him, still got that, you know what I'm saying, that little boy, you know what I'm saying, that they got still got that peanut brain. They can't think for themselves. They let Pooh Shiesty, you know what I'm saying, tell them how and when to move. Because let me tell y'all something, this right here, it could have been done, you know. But tell me why when Pooh Shiesty get out, they, you know what I'm saying, sit back, you know what I'm saying, they plan this out, but they didn't do good planning. Because it was said, and y'all gonna see it, that these guys actually called a goddamn Greyhound bus. We know if they would have drove, we know that, cameras, they're gonna get caught with the tag. So, you know, he might as well have would have been better off talking it out with that boy Gucci Man. Now he going right back to the cell, man. He said, "Don't let that dirt verse get to your head."
so
He's
far this
still
morning
slimy.
is that they have been looking into these vehicles. The 4 vehicles, one in the garage and the 3 in the driveway there. You can see one of those agents actually looking. I believe that's a Wrangler, a gray Wrangler, just down the way from here. Now, of course, we are working our sources to gather more information as to what all is playing into this investigation, this raid that's taking place at this Cordova home. Of course, stay with us all through our Good Morning.
Man, I don't know what to say about that boy, but he had a lot of talent, man. Pooh Shiesty had everybody looking up to him. Everybody wanted to be like Pooh Shiesty. And why I say that, why y'all think I say everybody wanted to be like Pooh Shiesty or want to be like Pooh Shiesty? Y'all tell me why. Because everybody had them goddamn masks on, you know. Everybody was listening to Pooh Shiesty, you know, and Gucci Man ain't no saint, bro. He ain't no good guy himself, you know. Because if he was a good guy himself, he would have did, you know what I'm saying? He would have went out the way for his artists, you know. Even though Big Scar passed away, and the way that Big Scar passed away, it wasn't Gucci fault. Gucci couldn't tell Big Scar, hey, Big Scar, you know, stop doing these, you know what I'm saying, type of illegal street medication. No, Big Scar wanted to do that, you know. So it's not Gucci fault that, you know what I'm saying, Big Scar passed away, you know what I'm saying, unexpectedly. You know, Gucci got a family, you know. Big Scar could have been doing some work, putting some work in, you know, putting that money to the side. But instead, he wanted to turn up with the money. You know, he wanted to share the money. You know, he wanted to get the money, you know, to to the drug man and to all these stripper women. And that was his problem. That was his problem right there. But listen, that boy Pooh Shiesty, you know, let me tell y'all something. That's why Pooh Shiesty wasn't dropping no music. Pooh Shiesty was plotting, you know, and Pooh Shiesty was getting that shit together and telling Bit 30, you been out snitch. But all alone, let me tell y'all who gonna tell, bro. His daddy gonna tell. His daddy is too old, and his dad don't want to go through that bullshit. He ain't finna sit there, you know what I'm saying, and suffer for his son mistake. He gonna sit there and try to say Pooh Shiesty made him do that shit. He gonna try to sit there and say Pooh Shiesty made him do that because Pooh Shiesty got the money. But if y'all know, uh Pooh Shiesty dad and Pooh Shiesty they got in some trouble together before. Pooh Shiesty and Pooh Shiesty dad was together and got in some trouble before, and Pooh Shiesty was sitting on a gun when the cops walked in and it smelled like straight weed in there. He would have still be gangster. He still want to be thuggish. He still want to show everybody that he bout that instead of trying to show everybody that he grew. You know, that goes to show a lot of people that go to jail and get locked up, bro. They don't ever grow up. You know, that's their home. You know, when they come out, when they get out, you know, that's just them celebrating. But jail is their real home. They like being told what to do, being told when to, you know what I'm saying, wake up, you know, they like being controlled, you know. And the way that this whole thing is set up, that is set up for black guys like me and you know what I'm saying? Or if it's any, you know what I'm saying, white people watching, you know, if you got black friends, y'all, we already know that this whole thing is set up for us to fail, bro. You know, it's set up for us to, you know what I'm saying, do time, you know what I'm saying, and have, you know, charges stacked up against us where we can't get a job. That's what this whole, you know what I'm saying, thing of living, you know what I'm saying? You got to live the right way. You got to hang around the right people and you got to want to do the right thing. Because if you don't, you're going to be just like Pooh Shiesty and the rest of these guys, you know? See, a lot of these guys that went to jail, you know what I'm saying, and got out, shout out to them, you know, people like Woody, even though Woody told, you know what I'm saying, even though, uh, what's the other guy named 6ix9ine told a lot of these other guys told and got out, you know what I'm saying, and go back for petty stuff. But what Pooh Shiesty went back for, bro, that can carry the 15 years at the least. Pooh Shiesty can get out, yes, if Pooh Shiesty rat. You know what I'm saying? Pooh Shiesty tell. You know what I'm saying? Pooh Shiesty want to show y'all that he really, you know what I'm saying, that guy. But you can't show nobody that you that guy behind the walls. You know, even though you made money behind the walls, Pooh Shiesty, you weren't able to touch that money and spend that money freely how you wanted to spend that money when you was locked up, Pooh Shiesty. You had to pay niggas to look out for you and to be your friend behind them bars, bro. That's what you had to do. You could have did that shit outside of, you know what I'm saying, being free. That you could have did that shit simple as like that, but you want to go and do some dumbass shit Dumbass shit. One thing about it, and two things for sure. Don't be a Pooh Shiesty. Now we're gonna talk about this Gucci man before we get into this other part of this news. So Gucci man, you know what I'm saying? Gucci man looked out for you, Pooh Shiesty. You know what I'm saying? And see, Gucci man, this is the thing about it, Gucci man. Gucci man, you did this type of shit to people before too, Gucci man. I said, Gucci man, you robbed people and killed people and you pulled pistols on people and Gucci man. I said killed people, Gucci man, because Gucci man, if you would have moved wrong, Gucci man, we would have been saying R.I.P. Gucci man. Cause they say them boys had big Dracos, you know. Big 30, big ass was sitting there, blocking the door. Wasn't nobody coming through here. He should have been out on somebody's football field because Big 30 ain't really been doing nothing since Pooh Shiesty was locked up. He wanna be locked up with Pooh Shiesty instead of them both being free. See, I told y'all I was gonna tell y'all this. The nigga, the nigga Big 30 ain't a good friend. Why I say the nigga Big 30 ain't a good friend? Because Big 30 could have easily told him, bro, we ain't finna do this, bro. You know, it's not being soft. He could have told him, bro, we ain't finna do this. Or we ain't finna do this today. You just got out. You know, niggas scared to talk it out. Niggas always want to bully the way out. You know what I'm saying? Hurt somebody, scare somebody, you know what I'm saying, to get their way, you know what I'm saying, in life, bro. And you ain't gonna get nowhere like that in life. Sorry to tell you. That's some shit you already should know. But if you don't know, I'm sitting here telling you that shit, bro. Pooh Shiesty could have been out. Pooh Shiesty could have had you know what I'm saying, about, I'm gonna say 8 videos out and a whole mixtape out by this whole time he been out. But this whole time he been out, he wanna do some plotting. You know what I'm saying? He wanna beef with his CEO. You know, we already know that Pooh Shiesty was fucked up when he got out. We know that Pooh Shiesty didn't have no money when he got out. You know what I'm saying? We know that Pooh Shiesty had to snake his way to the top because he told us in that FDO song, in that first day out song. He told us, and he mentioned Yo Gotti. See, Yo Gotti gave him some money. I said Yo Gotti gave Pooh Shiesty some money. That's how Pooh Shiesty got them weapons. But and we ain't no telling, and we don't know who got the weapons for Pooh Shiesty. Y'all want Pooh Shiesty free? Let me know in the comment section. I say y'all want that boy Pooh Shiesty free. Let me know in the comment section. That's because, you know, y'all both agree with me. Y'all agree with what I'm saying, bro. Y'all know that that boy Pooh Shiesty should not be out. Shouldn't be free. You know, it's not because he a black man. It's because he didn't learn his lesson. He could have took a life. He's shiesty. Pooh Shiesty can't be trusted. I thought Pooh Shiesty was better than that, and I ain't want to be like go off no he say she say shit. I ain't want to be wrong. So when I came out and said it, all I was like, oh, Pooh Shiesty, you know what I'm saying? Gucci man ain't get robbed. But Pooh Shiesty, you know what I'm saying, robbed Gucci man, you know what I'm saying? He planted this whole thing. He took the trip. See, this what happened. The nigga called Gucci man and was like, yo, like, I believe he made that song and then he robbed Gucci man. I said he made the first day out song and then after that he robbed Gucci man. So he was like, yo, like he said something about, you know what I'm saying, maybe, hey Gucci, let's link, you know what I'm saying? I want to holler at you about something, but I don't want to talk about it over the phone. I don't want to text it. We gotta meet up. Let's meet up at the studio. Probably making Gucci think, hey, I ain't shout you out in this song, but I'm finna work with you. So Gucci Man fell for it, but it probably wasn't Precisely that was talking to Gucci Man. It was somebody else probably talking to Gucci Man. Maybe Bit 30 was on the phone with Gucci Man. We never know who was on the phone talking to Gucci Man, to make Gucci Man come, the way he came, in another territory, you know, no weapons, If this was the old Gucci man, do y'all know that Pooh Shiesty would have been gone out of here? Y'all know that. Y'all know that old Gucci man. We talking about the fat Gucci man who used to be on that lean. Man, that fat Gucci man, he would have laid Pooh Shiesty out, you know? This shit ridiculous. Y'all better learn from this shit, bro. Cause I tell you, boy, these rap guys, they ain't gonna put you nowhere, you know what I'm saying, to be in a good position. They always gonna put you somewhere to be in a fucked up position or a bad position. Why? Because they only talk about one or two things. And that's foul and that's on the streets, you know what I'm saying, on the corner.
8 of the 9 were arrested yesterday in Dallas, Memphis, and Nashville. These
8 of the
individuals who are
9.
charged and arrested include Lontrell Williams Jr., also known as Pooh Shiesty, Lontrell Williams Sr., Rodney Wright Jr., also known as Big 30, Kadarius Waters, Demarion Gibson, DeMarcus Glover, Corday Johnson, Darian McDaniel, and Terrence Rogers has not been arrested yet, but will be soon. The complaint alleges that on January 10th of this year, 3 music industry professionals traveled to Dallas for a scheduled business meeting. Lontrell Williams Jr. arranged this meeting purportedly to discuss the terms of his recording contract with one of the victims. As alleged, once these 3 men were inside the recording studio, Williams Jr. and 8 co-conspirators, several of whom traveled from Memphis, Tennessee, executed a coordinated armed takeover. As alleged, Williams Jr. produced an AK-style pistol and forced one of the victims to sign a release.
See, listen, when you're on probation, I told y'all, bro, you don't supposed to do nothing, bro. You supposed to be a good boy, a good girl, bro. And this nigga right here, he was simply doing the wrong shit, bro. He probably was smoking weed, probably was drinking lean, you know what I'm saying? He was out of his mind, you know what I'm saying? The nigga did some dumbass shit. And Gucci Man, I know Gucci Man was hurt that one of his top artists, he would have let Fujiano go before he let Pooh Shiesty go. So I know, he was hurt to his soul, man. Listen, Gucci Man wanna cry, bro. I know Gucci Man cried, bro. That Pooh Shiesty portrayed him the way that he did him and the way that he was hanging around Yo Gotti. He wasn't supposed to be hanging around Yo Gotti because Yo Gotti and Gucci Man got fucking real deal street problems. So it's like the nigga tried to play both sides, bro. But Gucci Man, not Gucci Man, but Yo Gotti, you know what I'm saying, gave him, looked out for him, That's how he got what he got, the weapons, and that's how he was able to go from wherever he was at to where he was at, Memphis, to Texas. Or that's how they was able to, what I'm saying, get around. You know what I'm saying? Pooh Shiesty funded that.
From the recording contract at gunpoint. The remaining conspirators displayed firearms and robbed the other victims of Rolex watches, jewelry, cash, and other high-value items. One of the victims was actually choked by one of the defendants to the point of near unconsciousness. Defendant Wright barricaded the studio door with his body to prevent the victims from escaping. The ringleader of the conspiracy, Lontrell Williams Jr., was on home confinement at the time of the offense.
Bit 30, he played a big part of it too. He was blocking away. Like, he was basically like holding them hostage, like not letting them go. That's basically like, you might as well say he should have pulled the strap on them or, you know what I'm saying, jacked them up. Because that's how big of a part that he played in this situation. So he was waiting for, you know what I'm saying, Pooh Shiesty to come home. This shit crazy, bro. This shit like a movie, ain't it? See, I ain't want to believe the shit at first. And then when I first seen this shit come out, I was like, oh man, like, can this be AI? But no, man, this shit is real, man. Pooh Shiesty is like the dumbest rapper of all times.
As alleged for a prior firearms conspiracy charge and conviction out of the Southern District of Florida. Towards the end of his prison sentence, he had been granted home detention. Part of the terms of his home detention were that he would not commit another federal offense or possess a firearm. His father, Lontrell Williams Sr., is alleged to have helped plan and execute the federal kidnapping as charged in the complaint.
His daddy.
And as described further in the complaint, within hours of leaving the Dallas studio, a number of the defendants were on social media displaying some of the items that appeared to be the jewelry that had been robbed from the victims.
Oh shit. Dumbass jack boys. That's what you call them, right? These idiots hit the lick. Everybody knew that, you know what I'm saying? Well, not everybody, because people like me ain't believe it. But people was already speculating and putting out there and saying that, you know what I'm saying, Pooh Shiesty and his boys had something to do with it. And these niggas going to post the shit online. What more could you say? Clout chasing or what? You know, the world's dumbest criminals right there. You know, these is the I ain't even just saying this shit because they rappers, bro. Like I never seen, you know what I'm saying, some real who supposed to be real street niggas move the way that these guys, you know what I'm saying, in the industry is moving, man. They moving crazy, ain't they? You know what I'm saying? You can't trust them. And if you trust them, you can't be trusted.
The charging document outlines some of the evidence, just some, establishing the defendant's roles in the federal offense. This is as follows. Electronic monitoring data placing Williams Jr. at the offense location, which would put him in violation of his home detention conditions. Cell phone records and license plate reader data corroborating the coordinated travel of multiple defendants from Memphis, Tennessee to Dallas. Rental car records confirming Williams Sr. rented a vehicle that was used by the group. Surveillance footage from the offense location, a nearby office supply store, and a hotel where several of the defendants stayed following the offense. Fingerprint evidence as well that was recovered from the crime scene, matching at least two of the defendants. Social media posts by defendants displaying what appears to be stolen property just in the days following the offense. Greyhound bus records.
So, you know, these guys, you know, they ain't even really had a plan right. You know, they could have sent somebody else to do it if they wanted to do it right. Matter of fact, it's a better way out the situation. And the only easiest way out the situation is to work it off or get someone to, you know what I'm saying, or work your ass off and get somebody to want to pay that money to buy you out of that contract, you know, or buy your contract out. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's both the same. You know what I'm saying? But that's what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? In the near future, or that go for any other upcoming rappers, you know what I'm saying? Who thinking about signing a deal. But the best way to go is to just grind, bro. You know what I'm saying? You see Sauce Walker ain't signed no deal, bro. You know what I'm saying? You see how successful this guy was or is. So that's how y'all gotta do, bro. Y'all just gotta, you know what I'm saying, believe in yourself. Because I believe when these guys going sign these record deals, I'm gonna just be the first to tell you they don't believe in themselves. They that's them saying, bro, I don't think that I got what it takes, so I need to be with the big dog. Because the only way that I'm gonna be seen and heard is if I'm with the big dog. So that's how they be feeling. You know what I'm saying? That's what make them going, you know what I'm saying, sign the deals that they sign for this little bit of money. You know what I'm saying? Because the money that they get, they can barely buy their mama a house. You know what I'm saying? They can't buy her the house that she always wanted. They could buy her a nice house, but you know what I'm saying, not the house that she always wanted. So the money that these guys get, they still gotta work their ass off, bro. And they still gotta pay, you know what I'm saying, a lot of that money back, bro. More than that's like going to the bank getting a loan, bro, and you gotta pay back interest on it, bro. So be smart, bro, and always believe in yourself, bro. Cause people like this, bro. Pooh Shiesty ain't believe in himself. That's why Pooh Shiesty got out. You know what I'm saying? That's why Pooh Shiesty, you know what I'm saying, stuck up Gucci man and didn't, you know what I'm saying, make hits. Cause Pooh Shiesty can make hits. So that's why Pooh Shiesty ain't make hits, because he ain't believe in himself. He still had that crazy mentality. honestly, I'm gonna just say Pooh Shiesty had to fall off in order to go and do some shit like that. He had it in his brain that look, I fell off. I might as well just go and these views must be fake. He got out and he said, fuck the feds. He really meant fuck the feds, bro. He meant telling y'all, bro, fuck y'all, I'll be back. That's what he was telling y'all, bro. He was telling us in FDO, bro, if y'all gotta go listen to the song. If you listen to the song and listen to the whole song, slow it down, you're gonna see what I'm talking about.
Confirming the travel of multiple defendants from Dallas to Memphis the day after the offense. In this case, came to Dallas to conduct legitimate business, and they were met with firearms and violence as alleged in the charging document. This case should serve as a warning to others who believe that using violence and intimidation tactics to rob others in our community is a viable way to conduct business. I'm here to say that it is not, and that if you choose to do this, we will, together with our law enforcement partners here and the other ones in the Northern District of Texas, will bring you swiftly to justice. I want to thank the FBI Dallas Violent Crimes Task Force, the FBI's Memphis Resident Agency and Nashville Field Office, the Memphis Safe Task Force, the Dallas Police Department, the United States Attorney for the Western District of Tennessee, Michael Dunovit, and AUSA Greg Wagner, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Texas.
That boy done violated probation. You know, he couldn't even be a good boy, bro. You know, and that's a personal problem. You know, that's a personal problem with Pooh Shiesty. That mean he never learned the lesson. That mean he didn't get enough belt to ass when he was a young boy. You know, that's all that mean. He can't learn a lesson, bro. You know, he fighting to be in jail for life. That's what he fighting for. Because we know that his daddy gonna flip like a fish when he's out of water. You know, he ain't gonna be able to take that pressure. You know, robbing Gucci Man and Gucci Man ain't have nothing to do with that situation. You know, Gucci Man ain't have no weapon. You know, Gucci Man ain't come there for that. You know, Gucci Man went to the studio, so it had to be, you know what I'm saying, song related. Gucci Man had a off duty cop with him, you know, security, you know, but at the same time, you know, Gucci Man, he broke the code, bro. Gucci Man could have used anybody else to tell, but instead, Gucci Man wanted to tell himself. I said Gucci Man could have used anybody else to tell. But instead, he wanted to tell that Pooh Shiesty jacked him up and took the ring off his finger. You know, I thought it was getting into a fight or whatever, and the ring slipped off his finger, but no, it was taken off by force. You know, he was on probation. You know, he had the ankle monitor on his leg. You know, he really was supposed to be at the halfway house. So I'm thinking that Pooh Shiesty was doing a lot of sneaking around. You know, he got out for revenge. And he don't give a fuck if he went back to prison or not. This whole thing with Pooh Shiesty, man, this shit crazy, man. Y'all make sure that y'all like, y'all comment, y'all sub to the channel. Everything that I said, bro, is really alleged because you know, is no charges filed against that boy Pooh Shiesty. You know, so it's alleged, you know, that he robbed Gucci Man, and the paperwork of Gucci Man, you know what I'm saying, snitching is alleged too.